Hi folks, it's July 22nd, 2020 right now, and that's really dark. Um, and I'm here in my basement, my little indoor farm that I'm getting going. I wanted to give everybody an update because I actually have stuff to update now. As I said in my last video, there was a couple of months there where I really didn't have a whole lot going on down here because of the COVID shutdown here on Prince Edward Island. But that's starting to change. Things are starting to open up now. There's only a couple of cases on the island, so businesses are starting to come back, and electricians and plumbers are starting to do work again. So that's great. So anyway, yeah, it's been an incredible week. I'm actually starting to move stuff down here. I thought I'd give you just sort of a quick look at the unfinished state of things. Um, Big shout out to my dad for helping me build a lot of this stuff. I can barely tell one side of a hammer from the other, but he's the ubiquitous handyman dad, and he helped me do a lot of this, and I don't know what I would have done without him. So thanks a lot, Dad. But anyway, let me turn the camera around here. There. So, where do we start? Okay, and I'll zoom out. There we go. The last video, what did I have done? Oh, I had the electrical done, which you can see up there, and the sink, which is out there, outside the grow room. You can kind of see it. I got some stuff against it there now. Since then, though, we've built this rack, basically, which will hold the LED light bars that are going to help grow our plants. So you can see here, it's got the base. It's not, I mean, it's the best we could do under the circumstances. There is just barely enough room. There is maybe half an inch between that top board and the top of the crossbar of the rack. Originally, I wanted to put wheels on this thing so I could move it back and forth, and it was going to be all fancy, but I just don't have space to put wheels on this thing. So I think what I'm going to have to do is put some hand holders or something to kind of steady it, and only move it when there's two people here when there's a person here to help, because otherwise it's a little iffy. But like I said, it's the best I could do, or we could do, and it'll be secured to something solid at the top, so it has no chance of falling over one way or another. So these lights, you can kind of see them. I have 5 right now. I'm going to be getting some more, hopefully, fingers crossed, very soon. They're a little older style, but they were gently used before I got them, so I think they'll last for a few years anyway. I don't see any problem with that. You can kind of take a little look at them. You can see the LEDs here under this kind of, it's like a clear resin, or it's not resin, but it's like a clear coating over top. This helps diffuse the heat from the LEDs. Eventually these guys will all be connected. I do have to get an electrician to come back real quick and just do that for me. They'll be connected to a driver, which will be connected to that box is full of Intelli Climate, it's called, which is basically just a computer that will control the environment in the room here. Switching between dehumidifiers, fans, lights. If I had carbon dioxide, infusers, which I don't yet, might not have to. That's in the works, but it could control that. If I had a heater, an air conditioner, all that stuff, it will control it, which is a super cool piece of kit that I am super thankful came with the farm. So I'm going to be working pretty soon on getting that hooked up, and getting all of the various pieces kind of put together. What else we got? Oh, we finally got some towers. So these are the ZipGrow 8-foot towers that came with the farm. And basically, like your water with your nutrients will go through a pipe through the top, and it'll just sort of drip down gently, and then just go through the system and catch in the basin, and then that's connected to a PVC pipe, which will just take the water back to a reservoir that I have to get hooked up. But these ZipGrow towers are great if you haven't seen them before. The company was started in the States. There was a buyout. Anyway, long story short, they're now based in Canada, in Ontario, although their warehouse is in the States, which is annoying because you're paying American currency all the time, and shipping is a pain in the butt and all that stuff. But if you can manage to get your hands on them, they're really fun and really kind of a cool system. So all these just come out. They're very light. You know, I can easily take one of these out and harvest it or replant it or whatever I got to do. So each one of these will hold, you know, between probably, I'm going to say up to 20 plants, depending on what kind of plant. So there's 15 in this rack. So very quickly you start to get some pretty big numbers, especially plants that will regrow, like basil, chives, oregano, that kind of stuff. I'm going to be mostly focusing on some basil and maybe a couple other simple things to start, maybe some bok choy, that kind of thing. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. I still have to do a lot of work in here. But I'm excited to actually be able to show you what they kind of look like. One other thing I have to do, so these lights are actually two-sided. So you can see there's LEDs on this side, and then there's LEDs on the opposite side as well. So they shoot light basically, you know, two ways. Which means, you know, these are good, but that still needs to be hooked up. So I have several more towers that will, you know, go on the opposite side here. So I also have to build a rack basically to hold these, which is going to be a little tough because, you know, we got some impediments here, or impediments. But, you know, we'll get it done. We'll figure out a way to do it. Yeah, so basically at the end of the day, we'll have towers this way, towers this way, LEDs in the middle, and, you know, I can move this rack carefully, sort of this way or that way, to the left or right, depending on, you know, what I have to do. If I have to harvest on this side or on this side, I can move the lights kind of one way or the other. Which I said, again, is not ideal, but I'm just getting started, and that's the concept right now. So please feel free to correct me if you think there's an easier way to do this. Other than that, you know, I have some racks. There's one shelving unit or rack right there. I have another one like this, the metal frame, which is great. Right now, they're mostly storage, you know. This is a flood table, which eventually I'm hoping to grow some flowers, culinary flowers and things on. It will drain, you know, down into the bottom rack. There'll be a reservoir. You know, these are some T5 lights that I've had kicking around, so I got them going up. And I started a few, if you can see here, a few little lettuce seedlings, just to say I have something going, right? And to play around with them a little bit. You know, I can put them down here when they get big enough. I can transplant them. And, you know, it's kind of, I'm a gardener. I'm always trying to grow stuff. Well, these are kind of cool. These are some new lights I got. These are also LEDs. They're the same company as these guys. So they're Sunblasters. So these guys have the T5 lights in them, and they can come out and all that kind of thing. And the diffuser that you see here, maybe you can kind of see that. Yeah. So the hood also comes out. To be honest, they're a bit of a pain in the butt. Which is probably why I'm not going to buy them again. But these guys, the LEDs, it's all one unit. Like, they're very solid, and they're so incredibly bright. And I think they're going to be great. And like you can see here, I'll attach them. Well, not here because there's also a T5 fixture here. But you know, eventually when I get the other rack up, they'll attach to the tier above, and you know, I'll be able to do some microgreens or some lettuce or flowers or whatever I need to do. Oh, I should say too, just on the T5s, I'm using the actual bulbs right now, but eventually when they need to be replaced, I will be replacing them with they're LEDs that you can actually, that are made to replace these T5 bulbs. So you basically just take out this bulb, and the new one that you put in is an LED instead of you know, your traditional light bulb. So that's kind of cool, and I've heard really great things about them. So you know, I'm going to use what I have for now, and then eventually when these need to be replaced, they'll go LED as well, which will, if you don't know, LED costs a lot more up front, but in the long term, they more than make up for it because they last for years and years, and they use way less electricity. So pretty much it for now. That's pretty much it for now, guys. I built a little table, or we built a little table. You can see here. Basically, what it has stuff on it right now, but basically I just built this, or we built this, because it's a place to plant the towers. So you know, I take down a tower, carry it over here, lay it down, and then you can you know, I can plant or harvest or whatever. And we just made it as small as possible. Just space is already at a premium in here. So that's pretty much it. Still quite a bit of work to do, but I'm feeling good about it lately. I was getting a little down on it there when the COVID shutdown was happening, just because there wasn't a lot. Oop. Didn't mean to do that. But yeah, now that things are coming along again, you know, it's really nice to see. So hopefully COVID stays away for a little while longer, and I can get most of this project done. And you know, I can maybe have an open house, or you know, if people want to come and see it, I can at least invite down small groups. Maybe we are allowed to have a certain number of people, strangers in a home, or people from outside, you know, your own household, but there's a certain number. So I'll have to, you know, look into that a little more and see what I can do without breaking the health rules. But you know, I'm excited for that, and I'm excited to get, you know, actually growing some stuff, even if it is just a few little lettuce plants. But you know, everything's looking good. Oh, I should mention too that I had mentioned in my last video a Skills PEI, which is a government entity that is, forgive me if I'm wrong on this, but their primary, what they do is basically just try to get people back into the workforce. So they offer skills training and that kind of thing. Anyway, they're looking after this program called Self-Employed PEI, I believe it's called. I'll have to double check that. And I said in my last video, they will guarantee you your unemployment income for a year while you work on starting a small business. I had applied for that, and I found out yesterday that I was accepted, so that's exciting. The pay is not very much, I'm going to be honest with you. It is definitely less than what I would have made as even a newspaper reporter, which frankly is kind of scary. But you know, any income I take from the business, or anything the business makes, I don't have to claim. So that will help, and it will let me focus on this for a year. And you know, if this doesn't work out, great. You know, I'll be disappointed, but it's not the end of the world. I will find another line of work, or you know, what have you. But it gives me that year to take my time and you know, try to find something that I will enjoy. Also, you know, it'll give me the year to work and try to make this business work. and I'm excited for that. But yeah, thanks again for everybody who's been really supportive. This video is already way longer than I thought it was going to be, but as you can tell, I'm kind of excited finally to be down here and getting going. So, yeah, thanks a lot. I feel free to, send along any suggestions, criticism, hopefully constructive. But I was a reporter for 10 years, so I've heard it all. Thank you so much for everybody, and take care. Bye-bye.